I think most Americans know there's something called Chicago-style pizza and New York-style pizza, and it's very possible they can get it wherever they live. But St. Louis-style pizza, that's still pretty much a local thing. And when people come here and discover it, they're a little surprised and maybe even a little baffled. Patrick Murphy tonight has the story behind the pizza that's just not quite like anything else.
Let's talk pizza.
Almost everybody eats pizza of one type or another, and other cultures have similar flatbread-based dishes or appetizers or entrees where you just pile the food on the dough, and there you go.
And the other thing is, it's wonderful for breakfast the next morning.
But all pizza is not created equal, and St. Louis pizza is definitely in a category of its own.
I think you'd describe a St. Louis style pizza as a thin crust pizza, cut in squares with Provel cheese.
If it doesn't have Provel, it's not St. Louis style in my book.
This is the real Provel. It's unique to St. Louis. This is the one that melts properly and tastes so good. People from out of town will come in and say, "What is that cheese?" And they'll eat it a few times and they're addicted to it.
Provel is a blend. It's 3 cheeses. It's blended together. It's got provolone and a little bit of Swiss, a little bit of American, all congealed into a yellowish white cheese that melts easy. It's very creamy, and it just blends well with sauce. And like I said, St. Louis expects it, demands it, and that's why we're giving it to them.
The great thing about it, besides the fact that it's just really cheesy, is the fact that it doesn't string out when you eat it, which makes it much easier to eat. And I think that for St. Louis, that tidiness is a real plus. St. Louis likes things tidy.
I think that's why they like the square-cut pizza.
I think you're right.
It's smaller pieces, a little easier to eat. You don't have to fold it the way you do with a big wedge-shaped cut, and so it tends not to drip quite as badly down your arm.
There you have it, the character of a city captured in its pizza. Thin crust cheesy pizza first appeared in St. Louis after World War II. Today it's a tradition, carried on by, among others, Rick and Meredith Shaper, founders of Dogtown Pizza, which turns out about 200 frozen pizzas a day and sells them in local supermarkets.
I always made pizza at home for the family. I've been in the pizza business since I was 12 years old, so I really have pizza in my blood. And I started making them at home, having pizza parties in Dogtown with friends and family, and I always wanted to open a restaurant, and I kept planning and planning, and I had someone tell me, you know what, you already make the pizza, why don't you freeze them and sell them in the store? It's easier than a restaurant.
This is what we made at home for years. There's no difference from what people are buying in the store than what we're making at home and feeding our family.
From the kitchen of Mama and Papa Shaper.
Oh yeah, from the Shaper's kitchen straight to your table.
Now, years ago I worked at a pizzeria, and they always told me that one of the key things to do is get that sauce out as close as you can to the edge so you don't have a big fat crust.
That's another thing unique to St. Louis style pizza. Everything goes all the way to the edge. The ingredients, the sauce, the cheese, so we go all the way up to that edge. All of our ingredients go all the way up to the edge, and we just load them up. So now we're going to put a good healthy dose of Provel cheese on.
And finally, the toppings. Pepperoni or Italian sausage fresh from the hill, veggies, a dash of Romano spiced with oregano. Or you might want to try a recipe that's still very St. Louis, though it does push the envelope of tradition. Hot chicken wing pizza. In 1964, Margie and Ed Emo opened a pizza parlor at Thurman and Shaw on the South Side, offering St. Louis-style pizza with what was at the time a brand new service.
The thing that made us unique was we weren't a restaurant. All we did was make pizza, and we delivered it, and no one else delivered it. Before, when you would get a pizza, you would have to go into a restaurant to buy a pizza and sit around and wait till they weren't busy with their sit-down customers and then they would make a pizza for you and you could take it home. But we thought it would be really nice to, if people could just have a pizza delivered to them.
Imos was one of the first pizza parlors in America to deliver. Today, they sell 100,000 pizzas a week at 94 locations. And for St. Louisans who have moved away and developed that certain St. Louis craving, they'll deliver anywhere in the country. And those square-cut pizzas, that just came naturally to Ed Imo, since he was a tile cutter before he was a pizza mogul. Pizza is fun. You can put whatever you want on it, and nobody's going to tell you how to eat it. And though debates over crusts and cheeses may rage across America, when you order a pizza here in St. Louis, you can be sure you're getting something you won't get anywhere else.